Muses of Mythology is a spoiler-heavy podcast.
That's an understatement.
We're going to discuss not just the events of this book, but the Riordanverse as a whole, and really anything that we feel is relevant. You can find full spoiler warnings in the show notes. Okay. And that's where we get like the perception of monarchy in ancient Egypt. The
perception of monarchy in ancient Egypt.
Egypt. I'm going to cut all that. Welcome to Muses of Mythology, a podcast where we explore how ancient myths become part of modern pop culture through the lens of Rick Riordan's The Kane Chronicles. This is Story 106, Ra. I'm your co-host and podcasting muse, Darien Smartt. Joining me is my co-host and brother, DJ.
How's everybody doing today? I'm DJ the Muse, and I am exhausted today.
Interesting.
Yeah, very tired.
You just need to take a sleep and not be interrupted or anything like that?
Pretty much.
Fascinating. Well, we should muse around the garden for a minute about that. DJ, it's a new month.
That it is.
It's been a new month for a hot second. I forgot last time.
You know.
Last month, in June 2025, was the 20th anniversary of Percy Jackson, the Lightning Thief.
Oh, wow.
It's a late acknowledgement of a momentous occasion.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, the Lightning Thief.
Yeah, happy
Not
birthday
Percy.
to the world.
Happy birthday to the world. For that, this month, I wanted to donate specifically to an organization that is putting forth,
Helping give literature to people who need it?
Yeah, like promoting youth literacy and literature and access. And it just so happens that this month, the Reed Riordan imprint has been raising awareness about the organization We Need Diverse Books, specifically their campaign, Magic Stories Are for Everyone.
Yeah.
And this campaign is aiming to uplift trans and non-binary youth, writers, and books. Because, hey, don't know if y'all been paying attention to things that are going on in the U.S. right now. A lot of things aren't great. Supreme Court's really making me stressed out.
A lot of things are getting banned.
But major thing is targeting queer voices and banning queer books. Just off the cuff.
Yeah, it's a little rough.
So this campaign is aiming to send special edition bookish care packages to trans, non-binary, and queer youth via indie bookstores, as well as host virtual panels about diverse magical storytelling, and provide grants and organize writing workshops for trans and non-binary creators, which are all things that sound really good to us.
Yes. We got 11 patrons right now, and that's, our rule. We like to round up to 20. It's just a nice, clean number.
It feels like the impact of $20.
It feels just more substantial.
That's a book.
That's at least 2 books.
Where are you getting your books?
You can find $10 books.
If you're going to a used bookstore, which you can.
Chances are these people are doing used bookstore stuff.
Listen, I don't know how they're doing their organization, but I did find 4 Terry Pratchett books at Half Price Books yesterday, and 3 of them were Discworld books.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm pretty jazzed, gang.
But yeah, so we're going to round that up to a nice clean 20. Feels more substantial, and thank you guys so much for allowing us to be able to do this.
Yeah, thank you all so much. This is something we are able to do with the support of our patrons. If you'd like to learn more about our Patreon, you can do so at patreon.com/Muses of Mythology, where we also have bi-weekly bonus episodes.
Yep.
We have remyth episodes, and which are just longer form episodes diving into other mythological interpretations outside of Rick Riordan's work. Sometimes part of Rick Riordan's work.
Sometimes, depending on
when when co-writer Marco Shiro is also there, as well as a super fun Discord where we have super fun folks who make interesting insights onto episodes and also recommend great books.
Woo.
And if you want to learn more about Magical Stories Are for Everyone campaign, you can do so at the link in the show notes.
Woo! Thank you guys so much for listening, and now back to the show.
So DJ, we're talking about Ra today.
That we are.
Before we get into that, I want to make a real quick broadcasting clarification. That's not right. I can't think of the word that I want right now, but want to clarify his episode numbers.
Okay.
This episode is now Story 106.
Okay.
But when we recorded the last episode, that episode was story 106.
Oh, no.
And it's because I divided up the Egyptian episode of the timeline into two ones. And instead of part 1, part 2, I called it story 104 and story 105. Then I looked back at the last time we did a 2-parter episode.
And it was story 105 part 1, story 105 part 2.
Yes. So I've gone back, fixed those just in what they're titled in the RSS feed.
Yeah.
I did not go re-record intros. That's
we're not doing
feels
that.
wild. And then some posts might be like, yeah, but these don't even add up because in season 1 there's a missing episode. Don't worry about that.
It's fine.
Here's where we are. We are at story 106.
You get a podcast running for 5 years.
Listen,
You're not gonna have any mistakes. Of course you're.
we've been listen. It's not a mistake. Every single thing has been intentional choice.
Yeah.
I just forgot there was a precedent for that choice before, and I wanted to at least maintain consistency in chaos.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. Now, praise the sun. We're talking about Ra.
Finally.
Finally, DJ.
It's the second episode of the
It's
season.
the second episode. It's our second mythic focused episode of the season. In talking about Ra, DJ, let's kick it off. What do you recall about Ra?
Who is the only god that aged, and that still pisses me off.
It does. It does. We talked about that a lot.
Yeah, but it's like the explanation of the poison I don't think works because they wanted to oust him before the poison.
Yep.
And they wanted to oust him because he was becoming a fucking old man before the poison. Doesn't make any sense. Why is he the only guy that aged?
I know.
It's dumb. Anyway. He's a crotchety old man. He's
He's not even a crotchety old man. A crotchety old man has
senile,
mental faculties and personality.
He's
Ra's
senile.
just not
This man
there.
is not there.
It's rough. It's really sad.
He's got maybe 3 memories, one of them being Zia, who he calls Zebra.
Zebra and Walt's weasels. I find, I didn't say this when we were doing the book episodes, Zia makes total sense. She is the idea. She is what she has been chosen to be the eye of Ra in this state. And we unpacked our feelings about that. So we don't need to do that again here. But so it makes sense why he has a
thing
Zia.
with Zia.
Yeah. Walt?
Yeah, I don't know.
He's not shouting off facts about anybody else in the gang. He's not talking about Bess or Sadie or Carter.
I don't know. It's, Rick, as we've discussed, had so many good ideas that just didn't stick, and sometimes the things in this one, why?
I feel like he was trying to communicate that zebra means not zebra. When she says like weasels are sick, it's like, oh, Walt is weasels. We know Walt is sick. Like that is meant to be like a puzzle for us, the readers, to solve.
I guess.
But right, and I think that's why it's like
he's got no real connection to Walt.
Exactly. It's odd. It is odd. Nor does Ra have any in this book have any specific connection to Anubis.
No.
So maybe it's Tutankhamun. His father was the guy that decided the sun disk Aten, who is an aspect of Ra as just the sun disk, was going to be the only god they cared about. So could we stretch it as to that it's the lineage of this pharaoh?
Maybe.
I think that's giving a lot of credit.
That's giving a ton of credit.
So I was just
that's giving too much credit.
Too much credit. I'm going to take it back. You're right. I'm going to revoke the credit. It's been canceled.
You don't get that.
No credit here. So, DJ, another big thing about Ra in the books is the 3 aspects. Do you, off the top of your head, can you cite them?
You got Capri. You got Ra. And I don't remember the morning sun. I know he's a ram.
He's a ram.
I don't remember his name.
Yep, he's actually the evening aspect.
Oh, evening.
Capri is the morning aspect of the rising sun. Yeah, those. I mean, there's a lot of little things about Ra, but like those are the big pieces I feel like Rick Riordan presents that we're gonna break down.
Great.
So we start with the sun.
Yeah.
And DJ, as you pointed out, it's uncommon for the sun to also be.
Which you'd think it'd be more common.
You think it would,
but
be
it is
more
pretty
common.
uncommon that the sun is like the focal point of the religion.
Yeah. And it's fascinating. And it would feel almost like in this like desert culture, the sun would be not so revered because, it's so harsh, it's so hot. But I think with the balanced contrast of the Nile and the fertility of the Nile Valley, the sun was recognized as the giver of light and life. This is the thing that ripened the crops and was associated with warmth and with growth. And And so unsurprisingly, there were multitudes of solar deities throughout Upper and Lower Egypt over the course of the Egyptian kingdom.
Yeah.
Right? And they almost all would become aspects of Ra. This episode, and I'm sure many episodes for the rest of this season, I'm going to be quoting and referring to The Complete Gods and Goddesses of Ancient Egypt by Richard H. Wilkinson. This is a book I mentioned last episode. Just briefly, just when we were talking about Ma as a goddess being like on things associated with Egypt. But this is a book that I'm going to be citing a lot. So let's start that right now. To quote Wilkinson, Ra, quote, coalesced with many other solar and cosmic gods throughout time while retaining his own position. I think that's what makes Ra, that's what made Ra the most important solar deity. Even early on. Like, it's not that, and I think he didn't become important because he picked up all of these other gods. I think he was important, and when there were other gods, he kind of just, they eventually would become part of Ra's.
Yeah.
They would be viewed as an aspect of Ra or part of his story and things like that. The earliest records of Ra date to the Second Dynasty, found in the name of the king Raneb. And since we got quite positive feedback on the attaching the timeline with other things in the world, throughout this season, I think I'm going to keep doing that. So when we specifically mention like a specific date, not like a broad, like through the Old Kingdom, but a specific thing, Second Dynasty, I'm going to mention it. So in this case, around the same time that the king Raneb was around, was the germination of Methuselah, which is the oldest known living non-colnal tree in the world. It's in California. It's over 5,000 years old.
Nice.
So by the early Old Kingdom, because remember it was the Third Dynasty is where we start the Old Kingdom. Mm-hmm. So it was by the early in the Old Kingdom, like around the Fifth Dynasty, that's when Ra was essentially the state god of Egypt. DJ, when I say Ra, what do you picture? What comes to mind?
Eagle head scepter.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, it's also like he's in SMITE.
You know what? He's in SMITE. That's important.
Yeah, I think of SMITE's Ra.
Yep, that's fair. He's rarely depicted anthropomorphically. Usually, if we're going to see Ra, he is represented as a sun disk encircled by a protective cobra. He could also be depicted as an animal, often a falcon, beneath a sun disk, or as a man with the head of a falcon wearing the sun disk. Yeah. As I mentioned in our first timeline episode, Horus is probably the oldest of the Egyptian deities that were like had that established identity that we would recognize, like really early on. And so the falcon iconography probably comes from Horus in a way, and how these deities both represented the kings and eventually that split of becoming separate gods. Yeah. But that is likely where they share this, whereas Ra is still a very old god. Now, in our last episode, I talked about a cosmology about the origins of the world, one of many that Egypt had. And the one I specifically cited was the Heliopolitan cosmology. And then in that episode, I said that Ra was the first being to rise from the Bin and put Ma'at in her position to help maintain order over chaos. That's not accurate. Okay. That's a correction I had to make. Because as I have found out, a lot of lore we understand about Ra originated with the solar deity Atum. Now, he is also a very old deity who is mentioned frequently throughout the pyramid texts, which are the oldest surviving Egyptian religious texts. Mm-hmm. Like they're literally carved into pyramids of the Old Kingdom. Yeah. Specifically the pyramids of Saqqara. And these carvings were made around the time that the Genesis flood narrative is believed to have occurred. In the book of Genesis, not historically. Hot take, that didn't actually happen? I don't know. Is that too hot?
The Old Testament to me is just like founding myth doctrine.
Yes, exactly. I liked that, like when I mentioned, like when the kingdom of Korea was first created, but that's like mythologically timeline, right? It's not like I realized in this moment that I was mixing actual historical documentation with like mythological narrative. And I want to distinguish that, and I will avoid that going forward. So this text, this pyramid text, is actually a guide for the pharaoh to enter the afterlife. And you can be sure we're going to talk about afterlife guide text in a later episode. But for now, the story that I want to talk about that appears in the pyramid text is this creation myth, the story of Atum, who is this solar deity, the one that rises from the Benben, this pyramidal mound from the primordial chaos waters. And it said that out of loneliness, he created his first children, Shu, the god of air, and Tefnut, the goddess of moisture, which sounds weird, but it's kind of like how moisture we would view as like condensation, the creation of water.
Yeah, it's humidity.
Humidity, kind of moisture. That's kind of what she represents. Now, he accomplished this creation either via spit or via masturbation, some sort of bodily fluid. Yeah, user's choice.
Dealer's choice.
Bodily fluids, depending on the text. So, Shu.
Yes, chef.
Yeah, chef. Shu and Tefnut eventually went off to explore this primordial world, and Atum got really lonely, so he sent essentially the sun to go find them. And when they returned, he was so overjoyed, he wept tears of happiness. And these tears created the first humans.
Nice. Always fun.
Always fun. Now, the problem is these humans had nowhere to live. So Shu and Tefnut got together, and they gave birth to Geb and Nut, the earth and the sky. Later on, Nut would give birth to Isis, Osiris, Set, Nephthys, and Horus. We'll do that story a little later. Well, in a different episode. And then, obviously, sometimes Horus is actually Isis and Osiris' kid. Dealer's choice.
Yep.
Either way, through Horus's role in representing kingship and acting as a protector of the pharaohs, Atum was seen as genealogically the father of the Egyptian king. So that's where we get like the divine right to rule that the kings have in Egypt. Like they are literally believed to just be gods themselves, but that's because they are the descendant of the creator deity. So like many Egyptian gods, Atum had a wide array of iconography. For example, he also kind of had a role as Thontic god, an underworld type deity, where he appears as an aged man with the head of the ram, supervising the punishment of evildoers and enemies of the sun god. He could also be represented as a serpent, a lion, a mongoose, a bull, a lizard, and even a scarab. But most commonly, he is depicted as a human man wearing the dual crown of Upper and Lower Egypt. Real quick aside. So I was on the Riordan Wiki because I want to just real quick review, like, what is it about Ra that jumps out at us in the King Chronicles, right? And the Riordan Wiki claims that Ra has 4 aspects.
Well, they never bring that up in the book.
And it claims Atum is the aspect of the afternoon. When you click the hyperlink on Ra's page to Atum's page, it's listed as a stub article, which is like an incomplete short article. And his appearances are listed as just being the throne of fire, where it's claimed that he's mentioned several times by Carter and Sadie while traveling through the Duat. But I went and borrowed the ebook on Libby.
Control F searched Atum.
No results.
Yeah, of course not.
And
he wasn't fucking there.
Yeah, also, I used this very recently to check all results for Cleopatra, to just double check to see how she is depicted through the books. Cleopatra's needle is mentioned way more than Cleopatra herself through these books. But, so, that's not just it being faulty. Listen, I don't know how to do a wiki. I've never been involved in editing and subscribing.
You've actually just got it wrong.
But someone who can needs to go to the Ra wiki and fix that, and also delete the Atum page, because it's clearly someone who... This is not a thing in the books.
No.
It is a thing in Egypt, but it's not a thing in the books.
No. It's they literally only brought up the 3 aspects.
Yes.
Only talked about Ra, there being 3 aspects.
3 aspects of Ra. So... in time, Ra would outshine Atum, pun intended, and essentially take over his lore. And Atum would be viewed as an aspect of Ra. And Ra would become arguably Egypt's most important deity. Ra wasn't the most important deity just for being like, king of the gods and the creation deity, right? Like it wasn't like Zeus is like, oh, he's our most important one because he's the king, he's the father. Ra is important. Not because he's in charge, but because he literally is believed to have influenced essentially all aspect of Egyptian reality.
Yeah.
Basically. So first he was the creator of all things. Like even with that, like, oh, it was Atum. Obviously we enveloped that. Now being the first being to rise from chaos to create order, Ra's been known to be referred to as the father and mother of all things. He also going to dive into Ra's role in the heavens. Ra is the Egyptian word for sun.
Yeah.
Like literally, it is the sun. The burning globe of light was interpreted as a manifestation of Ra himself. During the day, Ra would sail across the sky in his solar vessel, the Manjet, or boat of a million years.
Wonderful.
Which is snazzy as hell. He was joined by his daughter Mot and an entourage of other deities. He would start this is how do I want to transition into this? Sometimes I get into just reading my notes and going in a thing, and sometimes I realize, wait, I gotta have a vibe and a conversation. I just jerk back and forth and what my tone is. So since we're talking about him and the sun, I want to talk about Ra's aspects. So you have Ra, who's like most of the time he is Ra.
Yeah.
So this is like throughout the day. The morning aspect, like the sunrise aspect of Ra, is Capri, the scarab beetle. DJ, why do you think the scarab beetle is associated with the sun?
Because they move big piles of dung.
Yes. Now, why do you think the scarab beetle is associated with Ra?
I couldn't tell you.
So it is the idea.
Look, all I know is that they get under your skin and they eat you and lay eggs and then they come out your mouth. And
that's just the mummy. That's just Brendan Fraser's 1999 masterpiece, The Mummy.
Yeah, I called them shoe bugs before I knew what they were scarabs. Me and Jared did.
Why'd you call them shoe bugs?
Because they went in your shoes and came out your mouth.
I think we had this conversation during our Remyth Mummy episode.
Maybe.
Yeah. No, yeah. Absolutely. That's the scariest thing I ever saw when I was a kid.
Dude.
Shoe bugs. Absolutely. So, female scarab beetles lay their eggs in those balls of dung that they roll across the desert.
Okay.
And so to onlookers, it would seem like baby scarab beetles just appear from nothing. Because they eat the dung and then they just climb out. And you're like, where the fuck did these scarab beetles come from? Much like how Ra himself was said to have come into being, which that phrase is the Egyptian verb kapir.
Nice.
So in both the scarab beetle is associated with Ra as the concept of the creator who creates himself, and the morning aspect because of the rising sun over the horizon
is a rolling ball over a hill.
It's a scarab beetle just rolling away, doing his thing every morning. Into the other aspect of Ra, we will meet him in the underworld. So at dusk, Ra would switch vessels. He has a daytime car and a nighttime car.
So fucking posh, bro.
So posh. And his nighttime car is called Muscatets. And that one, for some reason, didn't have a name translation, like book, like Boat of a Million Years. And so he would journey through the underworld, interacting with Osiris. We'll save details on that for our Osiris episode. And according to a text depicted in Thutmose III's tomb, Ra would visit multiple forms of himself. And so this is where we have that third form, Khnum. I think I said that at the top. Khnum. Now, because there are lots of creation myths, sometimes, rather than humanity being born from Atum's joyous tears, humans are created by Khnum on a potter's wheel. He makes both their bodies as well as their their life force.
Oh, yeah.
I'll have to figure out what episode we're going to break down the parts of the Egyptian soul in. That's going to be really important.
Be the episode after the afterlife.
Or we'll figure it out.
Or the episode of the afterlife. I don't know.
Well, listen, it depends on how much there is and how we format it.
Yeah.
He was also said to have created other deities as well as the entirety of the animal kingdom. He's often presented as having the head of a ram, and you'll find, depending on how old the depiction is, the horns will be different, because sometimes he's a much older style of ram that went extinct.
Nice.
Don't remember the names, didn't write that down. But and sometimes Khnum is depicted as having the head of a crocodile, communicating his connection to the Nile as he is responsible for the annual flooding, aka this vitally important cycle that is the thing that allows life to be here in the Nile Valley. So he's a creator dog. He's a creator god, also depicted in the pyramid text. And he's portrayed as being the one who crafted Ra's solar vessels. The morning hymn to Khnum venerates him as Lord of Life. So there's certainly a lot of overlap between Ra and Khnum as creator gods. Additionally, since Khnum is said to have literally created Ba, like that soul, he's also called the Ba of Ra. And this is why, when depicted in the netherworld, Ra would often be shown as having the head of a ram, because that is where this Khnum aspect comes from. So after defeating his ancient enemy, Apophis, Ra would ascend to the sky once more, now in the form of Capri, representing both the journey the pharaohs themselves would make through the land of the dead, but also that powerful cycle of rebirth.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, these are just the first three things that Ra was a part of. Now we're going to go back to Earth and talk about Ra in Egypt. So, I mentioned flooding. DJ, what if I told you that it wasn't just like, oh, the flooding, but that was categorized as a season of Egypt?
That makes sense, because I mean, it's like, oh, it's hurricane season, it's tornado season here in America, right? Like, we have these things where natural disasters happen, but they happen more regularly around this time.
Yes. Okay. You're right. That's not necessarily the same way the flooding was perceived.
I mean, no, but right?
No,
of course, it's not going to be perceived the same way. We have a better understanding of how the world works.
Yes, but no. So what I mean is, so we call it's hurricane season, it's wildfire season. That's just the time of year.
No, but it's like literally as
this is when this happens.
Fall, like instead of it being fall, it's flooding season.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
And Egypt only had 3 seasons.
Ah, well, yeah, it makes sense. They probably don't get winter. Being that close to the goddamn equator. It's probably, wow, the sun is incredibly hot this time of year. Now we're flooding, and now it's, we get the temperatures of flooding season, but it's not flooding.
I actually don't think Egypt's that close to the equator.
That's close enough to be like, they're not getting fucking snow.
Well, yes, but is that not just because it's a desert?
We live in a desert. Antarctica's a desert, Darien.
Antarctica is a desert. I do forget that. Yeah. You're right.
Distance to equator. Damn, Africa's so fucking big.
Africa's so big.
It's 1,500 miles from the equator.
How far are we from the equator? Just to, give us context here in, Pacific Northwest America.
We are 3,000 miles from it.
Okay, so we're twice
the
far.
distance. It's us going pretty much to Texas or Mexico.
Yeah.
And they're not close. I just saw the map. Yeah, they're not that close to the equator either. Yeah. They're literally equal in distance. So
yeah.
And Texas doesn't get snow regularly.
No, when it does, it's a whole crisis.
Yeah.
All right, so we had the 3 seasons: inundation or flood, emergence or the growth season, and low water or harvest.
Yeah.
And Ra was believed to direct each of these seasons, and various hymns and texts demonstrate the solar god's power on Earth. So again, another, like we said, one of his aspects was Khnum, who is literally the one in charge of the flooding of the Nile. Ra is integral. Ra is believed to be playing an active role in these things. Mm-hmm. And the last big one is as king and father of the king. We've already talked about how kingship and monarchy were seen as foundational elements of Egyptian social order.
Yeah.
Having a pharaoh is Mot, right? That concept of Mot we discussed in the last episode. The fact that we Egyptians viewed their pharaoh as descendant of the creator deity and that divine right to rule. It's not quite the same way that later, English European monarchs would be I have the divine right to rule because God picked me personally. I'm God's favorite. It'd be a little bit more like if they rolled up and said, Jesus is my brother and I get to be king.
Yeah.
Like, that's the vibe. It's very different. And so with that built in and the gods and the structure and the Mott, like having a pharaoh as this nature of rule is perceived as part of the natural order of things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's through this kinship of Ra that natural order comes from. Son of Ra was a kingly epithet as early as the 5th dynasty, so like mid-Old Kingdom era.
Yeah.
Rulership through Ra was so deeply associated with Mott that Hatshepsut described foreign rulers as being without Ra. Like, Egyptian kings had the right to rule as part of order and Ra. But those guys over there...
Those guys across the pond? No, those
not
guys are
those
losers.
guys. Not those guys. Those guys, they're not part of Mott.
Yeah, they don't got Ra on their side.
They don't got Ra on their side. So, as creator of all things, Ra was the first king.
Yeah.
He ruled the earth until he became old. And then he ventured into the heavens to maintain the sun, leaving his creations to rule themselves.
Why was he the only one who aged?
Well, here's the thing. I looked for this tale a lot because I wanted to find, are there different versions? Are there more details? This is the version, like, Wilkins just has this one sentence, like, but it's not. It's just this belief. Ra got old and he retired from kingship. And so it's demonstrating Mott again. Getting old is natural. The Egyptians believed even their gods got old.
Yeah.
Now, we don't see this happen to the other gods because gods are so vastly ancient, right? But compared to Ra, Osiris, Horus, Bast, they're much, much younger. So they haven't gotten old yet. But with this tale of Ra just getting old and retiring, and the fact that it is also natural for another king to take over. Like,
yeah,
it's
it's akin to like George Washington stepping down as the presidency, being like, this is what you do.
This is what you do.
Yeah.
Show them how it's done.
Yeah.
And so the idea that's like, in the end, there will be a new king. Like, the idea of one king dying, one king getting old, a new king, his grandson, in Osiris's case, essentially.
Yeah.
Son, great-grandson.
Yeah.
Or one of his creations taking the next in line, taking over. Like, that is viewed as natural. And so the Ra is the only one because he was the most ancient. It just happened to him first. And gods are still very, 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 very long-lived, right?
Yeah.
But I liked realizing that the concept of growing old is also perceived as being so natural that it even happens to their gods.
Yeah.
We just rarely see it. That story of Isis and the snake is a separate matter. And when we are going to...
something else.
We will unpack that later. But that seems to be something that Rick Riordan tied intrinsically together.
Oh, nice.
For his narrative, right?
Yeah, he does that.
But which I think was very inspired. Okay, so this is something I wanted to talk about, and I knew it was something we were going to need to bring up in Egypt at some point in time, but I wasn't sure where. And I think Ra is a great place to talk about this concept of syncretism. Do you have any idea what that word means, DJ?
Being synced up in some way.
Basically, yeah. So it's the practice of combining different belief systems or school of thought. We see in art and culture and religion. This is pretty common. It's often used to fuse competing beliefs, right? To join them together in a way that like separate cultures can view them as one. An example of this would be Hermanubis, who is a Greco-Egyptian deity, the god who escorted souls of the dead to the underworld.
Okay.
But when we see syncretism practiced in the concept of Egyptian belief, it is fundamentally different than when we'll see it in most other arenas.
Okay.
Because in Egyptian belief, syncretism isn't necessarily used to fuse two deities together into a new one, but more, quote, acknowledge the presence of one god or goddesses in another deity, essentially acknowledging when there is overlap.
Yeah.
These kind of combinations...
Two gods got a Venn diagram. We're just going to make it one god.
Kind of, yeah, but temporarily. Because it's not like a permanent fusion. It's not a Star Trek transporter accident, where we now have a totally different person that shares these functions. It's kind of more like Steven Universe fusion.
Where they go in sometimes and then later on they just separate?
Yeah, where we know there are still two distinct beings that are functioning together in unison in this space.
Okay.
The Steven Universe comparison isn't necessarily perfect.
Yeah.
Because even in this, like, even we have like a synchronism where we have these deities together, members of this synchronistic deity can still exist outside of the combination. There's a papyrus of Harris from the 21st dynasty, which around this time, rice was first cultivated in Vietnam.
Wonderful.
DJ, I do want to show you real quick this image because it's pretty cool. But it is this big bottom one at the bottom of the page. Now, what you're seeing here is a synchronism of Ra. Because as a creator deity, he's essentially a part of everything. So there were a lot of examples of Ra. And so the one you're seeing here is called Ra Horakati. And it's Ra and Horus, linking Horus's sunrise-oriented aspect to Ra, symbolic of the sun's journey horizon to horizon. And showing Ra as that symbolic deity of hope and rebirth, also anchoring together their kings. So what you see there, sitting with the falcon head on the sun disk, that is Ra Horakati, and just behind him is Horus himself.
Okay.
Yep.
You can also see Khnum killing Apophis there, I assume.
That is Set.
It's
a Set beast.
No, the guy in the back, very back.
Oh,
It looks like Ramhead killing Apophis.
Ramhead. At the front, we've got Set also fighting Apophis.
Fighting what they're riding. Look at where the rest of the snake body is. They're riding on top of it.
I think it's just trying to encircle. You got to remember, DJ,
It's
depth
2D,
perception wasn't Egyptian art is beautiful, but it's
they're
it's
very
all on the
much
same
so
plane.
the sideway.
Force perspective would blow an Egyptian artist's mind. They'd be like, this is game changer.
Yeah,
They'd be so jazzed to learn force perspective.
We could do so much more with our work here.
So much more. I think this snake is supposed to be
It's probably
wrapping
supposed
around
to be wrapping
it.
around it.
But I see what you mean. But yeah, it's probably Khnum in the back. So, Ra had a ton of these. And I wanted just to cite a couple of them that I encountered while researching that I felt were particularly interesting, kind of just demonstrating a depth of Ra.
Yeah.
In the pyramid texts, we see a synchronism of Ra as Khnum Ra. Earlier, one I didn't want to mention then because I didn't want to go out of order. We have Amun Ra. So Amun was an old patron god of Thebes, more associated with the wind than the sun, as he was said to have created things via his own breath. So the cults of Amun and Ra were very popular in Upper and Lower Egypt respectively. So they just combined the deities together as Amun Ra. Wilkinson notes that this process of synchronism kind of would be seen most frequently in combining more local deities with deities that had larger state impact. So the more prominent deity would often appear second.
Yeah.
Another example is Montu Ra. So Montu was an ancient god who represented the scorching effect of the sun.
Okay.
And Atum Ra, who was a combination of the two creator deities associated with the sun and considered father of the pharaohs. In the pyramid texts, they appear together. Obviously, we talked about Atum already, this early creator deity. Ra appearing in the pyramid text as early as the 5th dynasty, it represents the rising sun. Atum is kind of more associated with the setting sun in this context. We see both sun, both father of pharaohs, linking them together early on. There's evidence to suggest that Montun Ra and Atum Ra actually symbolize the two kingships of Lower and Upper Egypts.
Nice.
So that's something we'll see a lot. I'm sure I wanted to really dive into synchronism in the Ra episode because it's the first God episode we're doing. We're going to see this often through this.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be able to explain it here rather than reference and explain it over and over again, or get like several episodes and be like, oh, by the way. So that's what synchronism is. I anticipate we're going to see it often through.
Yeah, I imagine.
There's an Osiris Ra when he's in the underworld, where Ra and Osiris kind of literally become in and a part of each other as part of this mummification, rebirth, death process. But we'll unpack more of that in our Osiris episode.
Wonderful.
So Ra's importance cannot be understated. He was the state god, not just as like the leader and symbolically, but believed to, even after he ascended to the heavens, continued to be part of every element of Egyptian society. And his importance would continue through Christian times. Even after Christianity became the norm in Rome, which at this point, Egypt was essentially just a colony of Rome.
Yeah.
And the Roman emperor would dismiss all, like outlaw pagan beliefs. We have archaeological texts that have found to appeal to Jesus, the Holy Spirit, and the sun god Ra.
Hell yeah, dude.
He had a lasting impact. And that is what I have on Ra.
That's wonderful.
DJ, do you want to talk about Ra and Smite?
Without the sun, there would be no light, no warmth, no life. Without Ra, there would be no sun. Ra is a guardian, the keeper of Mats, order and truth, and master of the sun. Each day he sails across the sky in a golden ship. Each night he traverses the underworld, bringing light and warmth to the dead beneath the horizon. For those in the scorched south, Ra was the first god, creator of the earth and sky, and father to all other gods. But Ra's time is fading like a twilight sky. His descendants have grown in power and prominence and seek to replace him as the figure of authority. His own granddaughter, Aset, cleverly poisoned him by secretly summoning a viper under his feet. When he stepped on it, the serpent's venomous bite poisoned him. Aset promised to heal Ra if he revealed to her his true name. At first he refused, for knowledge of his true name would give Aset unparalleled power over him. But as the pain mounted, Ra was forced to relent. Aset kept her word, and Ra was healed, though the cost may have been too high. Light can heal, but light can also burn, and the great protector is showing signs of wrath not seen since mankind's insolence. In that rare moment of anger, Ra sent his daughter, Hathor, in the form of a lion, to devour the people. He ended her bloody feeding before she consumed all of mankind. This time his burning gaze is set on the other gods. When his wrath finally cools, nothing may be left but ash.
That's great. I didn't talk about the Hathor myth, this Sekhmet myth. I'm saving it for the Sekhmet episode. It's like her one big thing that may get combined into. Well, I'll figure it out. But I wanted to be clear. I didn't forget that one. I just decided we'd use it later.
He was a mage. Now it just, they got rid of those classifications. He does some heals. He does a lot of damage. Big, fat damage. His ult is a big...
I like that he does healing.
Yeah. He has like a little pad he can throw down.
Yeah, I like he does a lot of damage and does healing. Is that common to be like a heavy hitter and also have like healing?
No. It's when they choose to give somebody healing, it's really most of the time kind of just like an afterthought thrown on to like an ability that they've already, like a character they've already had, and just kind of throw it on the ability. Like the circle he can throw down also damages, right?
Hey, okay.
If like an enemy's in it. Comparable characters like Sylvanas, he can throw out little wisps.
Cute.
And they'll deal damage, but if they hit an ally, they heal.
Oh,
stuff like that.
Sylvanas.
His Ra's ult is just like this big, long, straight line that does a ton of damage.
Good. Just like a beam of sun.
He has a skin that yells out snipe. He makes a big, loud Ra sound when like scream when he's making it, so you can hear it coming.
That's terrifying.
But yeah, the skin, it like he yells out snipe and shit. You can get like an achievement where if you hit somebody through a wall without seeing them, it's called sniped.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Do you like playing as Ra?
Oh yeah, he's a blast. His passive, every time he casts an ability, he gets a sacking buff of movement speed. So that's a lot of fun. Ra, he's a blast. Love dealing with him. Let me pull him up real quick.
Yeah, show me some Ra skins.
The healing like circle the healing circle you can get sometimes will have like also like different effects depending on the skin. The Alienware skin summons a big UFO, and it's just the tractor beam of the UFO.
Oh, Raw America.
Raw
I remember you
America's
showing me
so
Raw
good.
America.
Big fan of Raw America. All his effects are like red, white, and blue, and he throws out like fireworks.
Spicy ramen. He's a chicken.
Yeah, spicy ramen's really good.
The name is funny. Is goofy that he's a fire chicken.
Yeah, that one you can get different colors for it too.
That's very good. Vizier Egbert Beekington.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of those high, like noble skins. There's a few of them.
That's goofy. Just someone got really into Bridgerton.
They were like that before Bridgerton was out. They had a couple. They had Baron Frostmere for Emir, just shit like that. Or Baron Frostchild. Ra's not the only god that's in Smite that we talked about today.
Who else we got?
At dawn, the sun lifts above the horizon, bathing mankind in color and life. At dusk, it sinks beneath the edge of the world, lost to sight, casting all into darkness. While the sun shines on the realm of mortal kind, it is radiant Ra that guides it. But at night, we share the sun with the underworld. It is not Ra that moves the sun along its subterranean path, but Capri, the scarab god. He who comes with the dawn. Scarabs form dirt and dung into perfect spheres. Within they lay eggs from which their young emerge fully formed. Using powerful arms and legs, scarabs can roll these spheres many times their own size, incredible distances. It is from their father, Capri, the sacred scarab, gained its power. For the Dawnbringer, the sun is his sphere, and all souls, living and dead, his children. Capri is a guardian, a protector, and a friend. He is a symbol of power and loyalty. Usually content to stay aloof, Capri has risen for battle to defend existence from the shattering war. He will fight to shield us until the final sunset. Yet, it is he that brings the dawn.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. I'm glad you mentioned the Capri thing, because one thing I forgot is that, like they said in that description, the scarab beetle tunnels. Yeah. And those, I mentioned, like, Capri is like a morning aspect, and these ones are evening aspects. But that's not a hard and fast rule by any means. Like,
no, Egypt's not a hard and fast religion.
When I say a thing like that, it's just to streamline the episode and keep things as clear and understandable as possible. But I think it always comes with a caveat, except when this isn't the case. And so the idea of the tunnels that scarab beetles create underground is like, and this is the path Ra would go in the underworld. So I'm glad you mentioned that. Oh, he's a chef's special. He's a lobster with a hat. He's a
lobster with a hat. He's got the lobster bib.
Crab rave. Oh my God, I love that video.
Yeah.
Oh, I forget. You can just, hug bug.
Yeah, you got hug bug and love bug. Yeah, hug bug and ladybug.
I love them. They're so French. I forget that you could just be a big ass beetle in Smite.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, you could be Capri.
I love that so much.
As they mentioned, he is a guardian, like a big support, big tank character who does like roots and grabs and stuff like that. His ult is he places a little buff on you. If you die with it on you, you then get pulled back to him at like a set percentage of life, depending on what rank it's at.
I like that. I'm also super glad you mentioned Capri again, because I forgot one more thing about Capri that I was trying to figure out how I would incorporate, and figured I would just tell you this thing and then bring it up into where and in editing move it. No, I don't have to. So Capri, scarab beetle, iconography, scarab beetle.
Yes.
Right? Usually just a scarab beetle. Sometimes a human man with the head of a scarab beetle. Have you ever seen this one? Dear listeners, I'm showing DJ.
Why isn't it just the scarab head? Why is it a full fucking scarab beetle?
DJ, because dimensions, proportions. They couldn't figure out the angle to do the head to make
it
communicate.
just do like the top of the head.
But he doesn't have his legs. He doesn't have his legs.
So stupid.
I know, it looks like a mistake. It looks like an ink blot. Dear listeners, I'm showing DJ an image of the god Capri in the form of a scarab-headed man. This is on 19th Dynasty. It's in the tomb of Nefertari, Valley of the Queens in Western Thebes.
Ooh.
But yeah, when I saw that, I was jump scared.
So goofy.
when I was like flipping through, because I go to the index, I find the god I want, I go to the page. And so when I flipped, and this full page illustration of Capri jump scared me. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, that's
there aren't a lot of
crazy.
full page illustrations in this book. There's a lot of illustrations, there's a lot of bigger ones, but very rarely does an illustration take up the whole page by itself. So that was crazy. Listeners, I will put a link in the show notes so you can just find it and not have to Google it. Because I know some of you are like, I can't even picture that. What does that look like?
Yeah, that's
I'll drop a link for you to check it out because it's crazy. Dita, do you have any other raw in pop culture?
I don't think I do.
I don't at all. Outside of the King Chronicles. I literally went to the TV tropes page on solar deities and searched for any mention of Ra. Like anytime a solar deity-esque character was called Ra, and the only Ra that was on that page was under mythology, under Egypt. And I'm sure there are examples of characters called Ra being used, but maybe just as a name, like Andromeda, but in no context for the mythic, like, iconography and themes.
No, it's really all just what is it? It's all just SMITE stuff. But I do have, every now and again they'll release shorts, and I'm trying to find one.
From SMITE?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, yeah, okay. So this one is like, it's just of like a bunch of sun gods.
Okay.
And I thought it came out on Valentine's because of what it's about.
Okay.
But it did not. It came out in October.
Oh. So that was crazy. That was crazy for a couple reasons. One,
they've done like only 3 of those, and they have not done them in like a really long time.
Okay, that was going to be my first comment of DJ. We've been doing this podcast for 5 years. Why is this the first time I've been introduced to one of these videos?
Also, this is arguably the first time that it felt relevant. We didn't do a Soul episode.
Soul didn't show up.
No, she didn't show up in Magnus.
No, it's a perfect time to bring it up.
I think Soul is actually only ever mentioned once in the entirety of Rick's works, and it's when Apollo's about to die, and he's talking about how Soul is being chased around the earth.
Yeah, by the wolves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, DJ, what do you mean there are cute little, like, animations of SMITE, and we haven't.
That's the only one that I like even remember watching.
There's just not
like
very many of
there's
them.
a couple more. I saw one like on the way. It's like, yeah, they're like Machina Minis or whatever the fuck.
But they're not relevant.
No, not really. No, not
that was
really.
super cute. Listeners will put a link in here. It's just about Soul and all of the other solar deities, because the sun is often usually a god and not a goddess. They're all hitting on her, and we won't tell you how it ends because it was super cute. So go watch that. It's very charming.
Yeah, like it's something that stuck with me for 9 years.
Yeah,
right? Like I watched it when it came out. And
wow.
Every time we've like talked about it, like at the very least, like Raw here, or even I've just like thought about it every now and again. I'm like, yeah, that was just like a really cute animation.
It's so cute. Yeah, definitely go check it out. Very charming, y'all. But yeah, I was surprised that I couldn't think of more Ra, that I haven't encountered more Ra. I feel like I would, but like also in terms of like if you're gonna use an Egyptian deity, I guess like Horus,
it's more often
Osiris,
Osiris and Anubis.
Anubis is the big one.
Anubis
honestly.
is the huge one.
I don't even know
people are pulling from Egypt.
I don't even think Ra is mentioned in the Mummy.
Amun-Ra. That's all we get.
Oh, I think
the priests of Amun-Ra.
The priests of Amun-Ra. They're the priests of a synchronism of Ra and Amun.
Yeah,
we talked about him in this episode.
Yeah, that's what comes up there.
Yeah.
And then it's the Book of Life. Was that like Ra's book?
We will get to the Book of Life and the Book of Death.
Okay.
We will get there. But for now, I think that is the episode.
All right.
Dear listeners, if you've got Ra in pop culture, please share. I feel like he's cool and it'd be like an interesting figure to use.
That he's somewhere in things I've read, but I can't pull anything right
When
now.
we struggled to think of pop culture things, we both just look at my comic book shelf. Like we're hoping it'll jog our memory.
Yeah, anything.
Anything at all. Hey, speaking of comics, we are going to be at Boise Comic Arts Festivals again, 3rd year in the row. I'm so excited.
Yeah, what were we doing? We had a plan.
We had
a really fun plan.
We are going to do a audience participation trivia competition.
Oh, yeah.
And it's called Beyond Lore Olympus. And so it is an opportunity to do like mythology trivia and also comic book trivia and hopefully introduce the audience to
other works.
Yeah, other works. And not to like we'll get into it. But I'm very excited. That is going to be Saturday, August the 30th.
Great.
Don't have the exact time. We'll have it in future episodes. We'll post about it. Just got the confirmation
approval like yesterday or today.
This morning. I woke up this morning and we're like, yes, we'd love to have you. Please send us a detailed description. So I'm really excited to be doing that. Boise Comic Arts Festival is a super fun convention.
It's a blast. I love going to it every year.
It's a free convention because it is held by the Boise Public Library.
Yeah.
And so that's where the funding goes. So it's like, and it's held at the convention center, which is, I think, a wonderful venue for this kind of event. It's got, yes, it's not.
It's not at the zoo, and it's not at the expo center.
Yep.
And it's not at Fort Idaho.
Yep. It's at the convention center.
It's at the proper convention center in the middle of town, which is just the best.
Also,
it's a convention center.
Also, downtown Boise is fun, and that means there's fun things to do.
Big fan of downtown Boise.
They've always have a really cool artist alley. They have always a really fun cosplay competition. It's great for all ages. If you are in the Treasure Valley area, and
it's free.
Listen, I've seen the stats. I know a lot of you are, so it's free. You should come on down. It's super fun.
We'd love to have you.
We are going to be there. We're going to be giving away special stickers made exclusively for this event. Exclusively. If I give them all away, they're exclusive to the event. If not, then you'll be able to see them at other things, I'm sure. But
they'll be exclusively at events going forward.
Oh, they will not be on the website to buy. You're right, DJ. They'll be exclusively at in-person events. They will not be on our website. But hey, if you do want Muses of Mythology merch, it is available on our website.
We got stickers and keychains and pins.
Yeah, stickers and keychains.
Just cute little items.
Yeah.
Throw them on like your computer, your water bottle. Just anything that you put a sticker on.
No, I have our old cover art that I recently accidentally didn't realize I just covered.
I'm on that sticker. Real Mike Wazowski moment.
Real Mike Wazowski moment. DJ was standing by me in the kitchen when I realized I'd done it. musesofmythology.com/merch. Link is in the show notes. If you want stuff, we have it. We've got glitter stickers and Don't Be Like Zeus stickers and keychains, things like that.
Yeah.
If you've been listening to our show for 5 years.
I'm a huge fan of the Don't Be Like Zeus sticker that we have. It's such a good design.
Like that. My friend Becca Rupert, who did the Don't Be Like Zeus. We have it on a keychain. We have it on a sticker. It is, you can take the Muses of Mythology's oh so catchy catchphrase with you wherever you go and never forget this vital life lesson.
It's just a really good design for like a sticker.
Good design.
I love it so
much. Great
much.
Job. Thank you all so much for listening. Real quick aside, happy birthday to our brother Johnny.
Happy birthday, Johnny.
On the day this episode releases, Tuesday the 15th, it's his birthday.
Happy birthday. Love to see you.
Doesn't listen to this podcast.
No, he doesn't.
So he won't know we did this.
Nope. We'll be going to Topgolf with him on Wednesday, though.
It'll be so fun.
Yeah.
We will be back in your ears on Tuesday, July 29th to talk about, well, wouldn't you like to know? So would I.
So would I. Like, it's,
It keeps no, okay. He's like, I got to sit down and divide it up. And then it's like, actually, I only have enough time to research the episode.
Yeah.
We'll have to do it later. So you'll find out when I do. But until next time, don't be like Zeus.
Don't be like Zeus.
Muses of Mythology is created and hosted by Darien and DJ Smartt. It's edited by Darien Smartt. The show is produced by Darien and DJ Smartt, as well as
Tim O'Connor,
The Crystal Conman, Nicholas Miller, Jeffrey Babbitt.
Our music is Athens Festival by Martin Hain.
And our cover is by Ran Kapoka. You can find them on Instagram or through the link in our show notes. Want more Muses of Mythology? Support the show on Patreon. Join the Patreon for free for access to outtakes and bloopers from our main feed episodes. Or for $5 a month, you can enjoy our Bunker 9 bonus episodes every other week. Get more at patreon.com/Muses of Mythology.
You can also support the show by leaving a review at lovethepodcast.com/Muses of Mythology. Or tell a friend why you love the show.
Don't forget to check out all of our episodes and episode transcripts at musesofmythology.com.
Thanks for listening.